Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Angela. I've done a lot of videos today just because I do my videos in clumps usually just because I don't have the time normally. But I've seen a lot of people doing their fall decks, their autumn decks, their Samhain decks, their Halloween decks, and I was hemming and hawing. I'm like, I have so many Halloween decks. It's not even funny. And I got even more this year. And there's 2 more I still want to get that I haven't got. And that hopefully will be the end of my Halloween decks I get, because it's out of control. I just did a video with my fall decks, and I actually left one out. Tarot of the Secret Forest. This is decks I tend to pull out just around fall, late September, early October, into November sometimes. This deck has a black and white side and then a colored side. This is a dark deck for me, fairy deck. It is a very fall looking deck. There's the bane in my existence, the 6 of Swords. And I have mixed them up to try to read them different, because the backs are slightly different than the fronts, image wise. There's the tower. Yeah. But this is a fall deck that I mean, it's very, very fall colors. Most of them are very fall colors. And I just tend to use it more this time of year, going into the winter months. And I forgot to add it in my last video. I literally just did. Yeah. So that is let's see what this one looks like. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful fall colors. Love that color card. And so I forgot to add it. But we are doing Halloween decks today on this video. I just forgot to add that one to my fall decks. So that is the last of my fall looking decks. Now we're going to get into all the mini Halloween decks I have. And this will probably be a second video. Hopefully not a third, because I realize I have a lot. Last year I had 20, I think. I feel like way more now. They're in no particular order, but these are all my Halloween decks. So first off, we're doing the Sugar Skull Tarot deck and guidebook by David A. Ross. It is published by whatever that says there. I cannot read that ever because it's super tiny print. If you can read it, Miller Press. No, maybe Miller Press. I don't know. But I love this look at the inside. Pink. Love this, and they're humongous cards. And they still have, like, the corners are still pointy, which actually hurt. And it's a cardboardy. If they were more tarot size without the border, it'd be fabulous. But I love this Southwest Mexican American style deck. It's very fun, very beautiful. I used it last year. I got it last year. I think it came out last year. I got it last year, right before Halloween, and it was amazing. I used it at work. I have a setup at work where I have a crystal ball that's black obsidian that I was gifted years ago. I set it up with on a section of the desk I have at work, and then I have the tarot deck every week spread out in October in front of it. And one week I put this deck out, and people were just loving it. It is very beautiful. I love the color schemes in it. I love the desert look to it. It's very cool. Very, like I said, Mexican American style deck, and I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Magician. Look at that tower. I love that tower. Love it. Look at the death card. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Yep. And with the coloring and everything, it was just a very fun deck. Makes you think of, celebration and Day of the Dead in that way, not the darker parts of death. Then we have Santa Muerte Tarot by Los Scarabero. I feel like this is a staple in everybody's deck for Halloween. I don't use this that often. Not nearly as often as I thought I would, but this is, to me, reminds me of the Day of the Dead. It's a little bit more darker, a little bit more sinister. It also reminds me of like Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, where you find yourself in this weird, awkward situation with the dead, or like ancient ruins and things like that. It's beautiful in that way. I love it that way. But this is the Santa Muerte Tarot. Look at that. And it's gorgeous. And I don't use it that often, but it does come out this time of year every year. And it's also a deck that I used last year at work, and people just loved it. So that is the Santa Muerte Tarot. And we're going to go right into the Oracle that matched the Santa Muerte Oracle. Book of the Dead, published by Los Scarabero. It has a Ouija board on the back as a puzzle, so if you put it all together, it would be a giant Ouija board. I don't use this deck at all. I thought I would because and maybe it's just because I don't use the other one so rarely that I don't get this out, or I forget I've got it most of the time. It's a lot harder to understand, and you need the book with this deck. And sometimes I don't want my Halloween decks to have a book. I don't know why. But that is I love that. That is my Oracle, Santa Muerte Oracle, that goes along with the Santa Muerte Tarot. Alright. That's 4 decks already. This one, you can say it's a Halloween deck or not. Tarot of the Sweet Twilight. I hear Sweet Twilight and I immediately think of vampires. This is a Los Scarabero deck. I only use it if I do use it. There's a whole story behind it. This time of year, I edge it in black. These are the backs. This deck is wild and crazy. It has these very cool colors to it, but at the same time, there's this, I want to say, what do you call it? Oh, Tim Burton-esque vibe to it, is what I feel. And so that in and of itself puts this in my Halloween-y decks. Even though it may not be, it feels very Tim Burton to me, which is why it's here. So that is the Tarot of Sweet Twilight by Los Scarabero. And I just dropped the box. It's one of those decks that made me buy it, and I still have no clue why. Speaking of Tim Burton, the Nightmare Before Christmas Tarot deck and guidebook published by Minerva Siegel. Not Minerva Siegel. Inside Editions. It is the books by Minerva Siegel. The box is gorgeous. The book is gorgeous. I love this deck. I got it last year. I love the backs. Love the cardstock even. But it is a pip deck, and not everybody likes that it's a pip deck. But it's a gorgeous reader. It is fabulous. Fabulous reader. The minors have been renamed. Potions are cups. Needles are swords. I love it. I think I'm going to leave this one out because, yeah. Gorgeous. Presents are pentacles. There's the Fool. Candles are wands. It's a gorgeous little deck, and I love it. Love it hard. And I actually got this before I ever saw the movie. my kids and my husband was like, "You never seen this movie?" So we sat and like a week after I got this deck, my kids and I sat and watched this movie, and it put a little bit more into context the characters, but I didn't need to watch the movie to read with this deck. And that's one of the things I love about it, is I could pick it up without ever having watched the movie and read with it. And that's what I loved about it. Speaking of Inside Editions, Supernatural Tarot, also by Inside Editions and Minerva Siegel. I don't use this deck at all. Beautiful insides. It's, again, great book. Great cardstock quality. I just don't know if I was loving the idea of this deck. Again, it's a pip deck. The minors have been renamed. And I thought, oh, I'm going to use this all the time during the Halloween season. No, I don't. It never comes off the shelf, ever. And I think part of it is because I've seen this show so much that I've seen every episode. I've seen enough of this show, and I love the show so much that I'm mad that they did pips. They could have done them in a more succinct way, or more. Some of the pips could have been, because it's like a mishmash of pips. Like, some pips are pips and some are not. And I think they could have, the ones that are pips, or even the ones that are not pips, they could have picked better images for that spot. So that's why I'm a little perturbed by that. Next we have, it's bicycle playing cards. It's called Hidden. It's got palmistry on the front. They're playing cards. And they're regular playing, this is the backs. It's got skulls and stuff on it. Regular playing cards until you get to the courts, and then they're all skeletons, which is cool. And I love it. And I do use playing cards in some of my decks, some of my readings. And that was it, I guess. The rest of them are the minors. But yeah, I like that. It was like $5 at Walgreens. Crazy. And then it shows how to play different cards, games with it. Pretty cool. This was the first deck I bought in an attempt to learn to read just pip style decks. Speaking of cards, again, we got the Edgar Allan Poe playing cards. This is an out of print deck by Joe Descartes. Love it. I love Edgar Allan Poe as a fellow writer. It's amazing. And all of the cards have little sayings from his poetry on the cards, which I love. And then we got the diamonds, we got the clubs, we got the swords, spades, swords, whatever. And then we got the hearts that are actual hearts. And I'm like, that's awesome. But it's just little quotes, different things here and there. And I love it. Love it, love it, love it. And I sometimes use this as an oracle to go along with my new, got this year, Poe Tarot. I've used this, I just got it this year. I've used it this year, but I've been waiting for a deeper dive for Halloween type of, it's Trisha Lee Sheffield. It's published by Red Feather. Look at that. Gorgeousness on the inside. Gorgeous. Book is huge. Love it. It is blood red gilded, which I love. These are the backs. It's quite shiny for a, well, it's quite different cardstock than the Tarot of the She, which is the same publisher. And then we got quotes at the bottom of every card. And there's candles are wands. Quills are swords. Paws are pentacles. Wells are cups. But this working in tandem with this for his quotes, beautiful. And I thought how to utilize this deck other than it being a tarot deck. And I thought of it, and I'm like, okay, this is how we can do this deck. If I pull a card I'm trying to incorporate decks into my writing. So if I pull this card, see that whole quote says, "No guile disguised the fervor of love which animated her heart, and she examined with me its inmost recesses as we walked together in the valley of the many-colored grass." So I thought about using like that quote or poem, whatever, and turning it into another story, but I have to use all of those words in that. So that was just another little way of utilizing this deck other than a tarot deck. But working, and then there's the Emperor is Poe himself. Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. So that's just other little kitschy ways I'm learning to use this deck. And I love it, love it, love it, love it, and then love that. It goes with it. So, now, the Witch's Tarot by Ellen Dugan. This is a Llewellyn deck. I got this when I first started my tarot journey, it was a knockoff. Then, recently saw that it was on Amazon as a mini, and I'm like, I didn't know it was a mini deck. Could have saved myself a lot of heartache getting it as a mini. Of course, it's the Witch's Tarot, so it's a darker, more wintry, witchy type, Halloween type deck, and I love it. Love that it's a mini. I don't know that I'll get the full size just because I bought this deck a couple different times now. And I'm really digging carrying it around with me as a mini deck. But that is the Witch's Tarot by Ellen Dugan. Yep. Moving right along. We got Ghost and Spirits Tarot by US Games. I've been using this recently. These are the backs. Every card is a spirit or ghost that's famous or fairy tale famous, or however you want to look at it, which I think is cool. And there's a whole backstory in the book, which is cool. And that is the Ghost and Spirits, and the artwork in this is just stunning. Just stunning. Just stunning. And I love it. Hard. I bought it last year and I'm like, I haven't really touched it. And then Lisa Pappas, she did a recent, walkthrough and deeper dive. And I'm like, I love it. So I pulled it out and started using it. That is a beautiful deck. One I was told that was out of print, but it's not. It's on Amazon. And this says there's a special bonus card included, but I don't remember what card that is, so maybe we already passed it. But anyway, that is the Ghost and Spirits on Amazon for $19 by US Games. It's beautiful, worth being in your Halloween type collection. Next, we have the Deviant Moon Tarot. This is the borderless edition. I have the bordered edition. A friend gave me. I did color this in like a bronze, like a dark brown to match the backs here, which match perfectly to me. Of course, this is a darker Halloween-y type deck. To me, it's a shadow deck. I use it as such. It is created by Patrick Valencia, which we all know and love. His work, of course, gorgeousness. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful deck. And this is the mass market version by US Games, which I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So hard. I did not like it when I had the borderless edition. I still have the borderless edition somewhere buried. Then I'm like, you know what? If I get the bordered edition, if I get the borderless, I might like it better. And I do. I do like it a lot better than the bordered version. I still have quite a few more decks. So what I'm going to do is end it there for now. And then I'll do a part 2 here in a few minutes. Yeah. So if you guys like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification button so you're alerted to any future videos. And you guys have a good night.